G'day guys, welcome back to Supercoach with DR and welcome to the round 21 review. Hope you had a cracker of a round. We're almost done and dusted, aren't we? We certainly know that when it's the first week of the Supercoach finals, so hope you got up in your league matches. I was pretty lucky this week, managed to get up in 9 out of 10. Best of all, had a crucial cash league. Did have a double chance, but did finish fourth in that league. Managed to knock off first for the week, so straight through the prelim. Bit of a week off this week, which was nice. But look, I have not gone under 2,500 for the last 6 weeks, so I'm hitting form at the right time. Probably left my run a little bit too late for a really decent ranking, but green arrows after green arrows lately, which is really nice. So season rank 3,318. So all of a sudden, there's a chance that I can now finish inside the top 3K. 2K is a bit of a stretch, I think, but who knows? I thought 3K was a stretch just a couple of weeks ago, so can't even talk at the moment. Tell you what, it's been a big day watching my fella play his final. Unfortunately, they went down, so knocked out for the week, but they had a ripper season, the boys, and hopefully I'll be taking over as assistant coach next year, which will be fun. Really looking forward to that. My boys, the Lions, just got up against Freo, but guess what? Still cannot grasp that top 2 spot. The D's just got through on percentage there for now. Big match this week against the Crows for the Lions. So look, Supercoach wise, the big news is obviously the injury to Nick DAICOS. So if you run out of trades, there's really not much that you can do. And look, I do not take this the wrong way, but I was not hoping, but I kept that trade in the bank just in case one of the Uber premium elites like a Nick DAICOS, a really highly owned player, and you don't really have a more highly owned player in the game than Nick DAICOS. Just in case a player like that went down, I wanted one more trade left in the bank, and I've got that. So pretty much for this video, we'll quickly go through the side. I'll have a quick look at who I may replace DAICOS with. We'll go through many more options on the sword play potty, and obviously go through my VC and C for the week. So that's it for the intro, guys. I hope that you're well. Let's see how the team's actually looking. Alrighty, let's get into it. So we'll start straight away with this great man that I have currently at D1, James Sicily. Apart from that lowly 58, he's gone basically 100 right on the nose and given me 2 absolute monsters. So a 166 this week. That was the reason for my 2,500 plus. Thank you very much, mate. And I did trade him in for Josh Dunkley as well. So it was questionable after that 58 whether or not I'd made the right decision or not. But after the 2 monsters and Dunkley's low performance this week, I definitely have made the right decision. Again, for now, there are still 3 weeks to go. But wrap with the Sicily pick. Absolutely fantastic. Tommy Stewart, well, didn't he resurrect this game? Was looking like an absolute donkey score early in the game, but to finish on 134, that is absolutely amazing. So well done, Tommy. Again, very highly owned player. This is the trouble here. Look, we all knew this week that Finn McGuinness would wear DAICOS like an absolute blanket, but what we couldn't predict was that he'd be out for 6 weeks with a knee injury. So if you got the trades, he's an absolute must trade out. He's highly owned, so if you don't have the trades, this is really unfortunate. If you do have one up your sleeve, then I think this is where you get a big advantage. So we'll talk about replacement options, well, who I'm going to get for myself anyway, once we're done. Will Day with a 98, yeah, that's okay when you had Luke Ryan and Sinclair giving pretty average scores or sub 100 scores this week, then you can live with a 98 from someone like Will Day. Sheasel, I didn't actually watch this match because I was watching my little fella play his final, so don't know what happened here. A 56. I heard that Zeeble did go off though, so does that affect him? Clarko back in the driver's chair. I'm not too sure, but well, I suppose hopefully I can use him as a loop for the next few weeks. The Seagull, now this was super disappointing again. Smashing it, I think it was 40 plus at quarter time, and then what happens early in the last? Gets bloody almost knocked out again. A dog's act. I'm going to say it was Perryman. May not be Perryman, so I'm not going to say Perryman, but it was someone. I forget who it was, and we thought, you are absolutely kidding me. So looked like the Medicos wanted him off straight away, trying to wave him down, but plays on the other side of the field. Seagull got a few possessions there, which was nice, but eventually dragged off. Did the protocols, was all good. Returned to the field, got a few cheap possessions at the end, but to get, what do you get, a 98, that was pretty good considering the time that he spent off the field. If he hadn't had to spend time off the field, then who knows? I'm saying at least a 115 plus. So super disappointing there, but not his fault. Pretty happy with what he's delivering at the moment. And then you got the two loops there, didn't play this week. Into the midfield, so the Bont, well, see, I didn't go with him this week. I thought, geez, he's a little bit sore. I don't want to have to take a 120 and then risk a merit with the potential O'Neill tag. I'd rather just VC merit. So at the time, I was absolutely spewing on myself because we had a members call about half an hour before this match, and I did say to the boys, bugger it, I'm flipping to Bont. I'm going to VC Bont. And then at the end of the day, because I had basically Merritt and Gawn as my combo leading into the week, I thought I'm not changing it up because changing to Stewart last week did really hurt me. So I thought I'm going to back my gut, and Zeret certainly delivered. But Bont, phenomenal. And again, no offence, like I love Nick DAICOS, but I really want the Bont to win the Brownlow this year. I think he's got a much larger body of work. I think this man deserves it. And damn, with DAICOS out for the next three, or for the rest of the home and away season anyway, I think the Bont has a red-hot chance of claiming a few late votes. So we'll see what happens there. I'll watch that with interest. Track, I didn't actually watch this game, but 125, all good. I was tossing up having him as my captaincy backup if Zeret didn't come through, which he obviously did. Lady 93, again, really disappointing. Did better than Dawson, though. Had a quiet sort of a first half. I think he came back in the second, but between the two of them, not even 100, but they are highly owned players again. Still disappointing, though, at the end of the day. Dawson will be a really valuable player for me this week, just being able to switch with DAICOS and use some DPP to hopefully bring in potentially a midfielder or even a forward. Jack Steele, now this is super disappointing. We didn't think that we'd go back to these days, did we? 57. Look, I think he got 9 or 10 tackles, but just did not get enough of the pill, unfortunately. This really, really hurt. He was projected to go about a 118, and although I was really happy with the 2,500 plus, originally going into Sunday, it was 26, I'm going to say 26.30 something. I think Sheasland still really, really hurt me there, but it is what it is. Not complaining too much after the really big comeback that this man's had. Sarong, bit of a comeback game from him as well. Now, he had a massive, massive last term, and I thought that this should have been probably a 140 score. I was watching the game really, really carefully, and his impact in the last was phenomenal. Almost got his team over the line, but, well, unfortunately for Freo, very, very fortunate for the Lions fans, couldn't quite do it for the Dockers, but fantastic score, 126, all good. Brayshaw was pretty much on par with him. Brayshaw, terrific efficiency. Sarong did more of the dirty work, more of that contested type stuff. Lockie Neal, this again was looking like a disaster early days, so to claw back to a 90, that's all good, but I'm pretty sure he's just going to receive attention for the next few weeks. Teams have worked out. I think that you've just got to tag the man. Windy didn't have to use this week, but a lowly score 54. The other two, who knows? But I do know that Roberts, again, I think he got 35 touches in the Rezzies, had a phenomenal game. Can he break his way into the side? I'm not too sure. Maybe as a sub. We'll see how we go. Now, my ruck line this week, I was absolutely wrapped with because both Maxi and Kizza outscored Rowan and Tim English. So they are the two blokes that tend to kill me week upon week. But this week, just did not worry me at all. I actually outscored them. So it's very rare for someone like a Briggs to outscore an English. English has been going those 140 type scores. So a bit of relief was really, really nice. And Gawn just continued on his really, really dangerous run. So a 130 against a team that has been pretty restrictive in the ruck down at Bloodstone Arena. That's fantastic. I'll absolutely take that. Well done, Maxi. I just do not want to see Brodie Grundy anywhere near this side. If he does, then this pick just goes back to maybe 90s, 80s, low hundreds if I'm lucky. So with Brodie Grundy out, this bloke is absolutely fantastic. And Kizza, shout out to you, big man. You are a wonderful, wonderful human. Onto the forward line. So again, very, very common players here. But we had Errol with a 120. Fantastic from him after, I think it was a lowly game last week. Or was it? No. He smashed it last week. Must have been the week before that because Spills missed out as his VC. Rosie with a 99. Again, on repeat. safe as houses, but we want at least 100 plus, don't we? But has this been a good comeback the last couple of weeks? After a couple of 80s, he's gone a couple of 135 pluses, or 134 and a 137, I think. So great to see him score well. I hope that Janeth brought him in. I'm not too sure this week. Cogs with a 106, again, 105 plus. I'm all happy with Cogs. Thank you, son. Taranto continues with his subpar form. Was on a mad stretch at one stage of the season, but post-bye just has not been fantastic at all. And Himmelberg with 91. This was okay from the man. This was okay, particularly when I had an absolute disaster score here. And I did put a tweet out. This is why you use your loops if you can. So Bolton with an early game. He's that roller coaster type pick who, and I've said when I trade him in, he's either going to give you a 150 or a 50. And that's a little bit exaggerated, obviously. But the 50, we saw the floor score this week. And luckily, I was able to chuck that on the bench and have Harry come on and give me an extra 41 points. So super, super handy there. So that is the team as it sits. Now, the big news is, what do we do with Nick DAICOS? So he's gone for me. We've got to trade him out. Now, who do we actually go for? I'll just go out a little bit here. Now, 580, he went down a ton of money, did DAICOS. 65k. Yeah, that's shocking. So our options are a little bit limited here. So I'm going to sort by highest price in the back line here. So I can go 580k down. So that puts me out of all these, well, puts me out of Houston and Ryan, just out of Doherty by 800 there. All right, so Nick DAICOS. So you got Lockie Whitfield. I'm not sort of bloke that will bring in someone like Whitfield. Jack Sinclair, you could just get him in, be with many of the other top 1 to 5% coaches. Newman is that real pod. 118 for a 5-rounder. 3, 124. Surely I couldn't. Okay, so if you look at his last 5, so 114, 106, 92, which is a pretty nice floor score. 137, 144, coming up against Melbourne at the G. So MCG scores 137, 59, 121, 78. So a bit of a mixed bag. Marvel 106, 92, 44, 108. Yeah, look, I couldn't do it myself, but who knows? Definite pod selection. Sam Taylor, that's low with a 65. Again, probably too poddish for me. Will Day, Ridley. Yeah, see, we're getting some dicey options here. Dale, I don't love that 5-rounder. 3-rounder's okay. All right, so there's no one really here. Oh, Witho, in the stocky, I predicted a 110. I said lock in a 110, 3 points off. Come on, Witho, another handball, mate. And there's look, I'm not going anyone here. It's pretty simple. And I did allude earlier that this man, Jordan Dawson, would be an important player. Because now I can select a midfielder if I want, or else I'll quickly go with this pot option here. So let's just go Butters, in you go. We can get a forward. So let's look at, again, highest price. So I've got 580. You can go anywhere down here. So not going to go Dunkley, not going to go Kerno. You've got Darcy Cameron at 521. Had a bit of a shocker. And again, that was another reason why I went up in the ranks. He's a very highly, or when I say very, a pretty highly owned player is Darcy Cameron. And when he has a bad week, then I tend to have a good week, which is nice. Bolton, real pod that I've got, but as I said, looped him. So, yeah, it didn't really concern me this week. McRae, probably not with an 87. We're just not seeing that. This is a man here. Now, hear me out for a sec. Hear me out. Now, I recommended him a couple of weeks ago in the stocky. As soon as Shrek went down, I said, let's have a look at this man. And I won't go through all the numbers now. You can go back and check them out because I did go through them in a little bit of detail. With Shrek out of the side, this guy was dominating. Now, the week before, didn't do too much. Completely understand that. But is coming up against West Coast this week. Then faces Port. Who's the team after that? Or is it Port the last week? So, who knows? Is this going to be a Vicentini, however you say it? You know, West Coast, been pretty easy to score on. And then Hawthorn. Who knows who that's going to be? Is it going to be a Reeves, a Meek, I'm not too sure. It's certainly not going to be a Max Lynch. Unfortunate. And good luck to you in your next journey, my man. So I really don't mind him. Look, when we look at ceiling scores, we haven't seen much, have we? 126, 134, and then obviously that really big one. So maybe that puts you off a little bit. But what this does give me is a little bit of peace of mind, because when I traded out DCAM, all of a sudden I lost my ruck cover. And that really does paranoid me. Now, I've got 3 weeks to get through with Gawn and Briggs. I understand that, but how shattered would I be if one of them went down, if Gawn got rested, which I don't think they will. But what happens if someone gets injured? They wouldn't rest Briggsy, I don't think, but actually he looked pretty good on the weekend. So I won't say that he's slowing up. He did actually look pretty good, Briggsy. So I won't say that, but yeah, it does give me a little bit of peace of mind there. He's certainly a pod. And as a number 1 ruck, I don't mind him at all, particularly with his upcoming matchups. But I think what I'm most likely to do at this stage is to look to get a midfielder in. Now, it's a bit of an awkward price here. Damn, wouldn't I love Libba. Oh, I wish that break even wasn't what it was and DAICOS went down so much. If I could get Libba in, I would be absolutely laughing. So I've got 580. Can't get any of these blokes. I'm way off. Absolutely way off. Look, what I could do is not even trade this week. Wait for someone to go down. Nah, I'm trading this week. Even though I've got the week off in my big league, which is a cash league, I still reckon I'm going to trade. I'm still gunning for, when I say overall, not obviously number 1, but as high as I can. So 580 LDU, I was thinking as a pod. Yes, I can afford the man that I was thinking. And it is this man here, Darcy Parish. So let's have a look at some of his recent form. So what's he done? So since round 8, came back from injury, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So hasn't missed a game. Since he's come back, lowest score of 92. So he's gone 2 light 92s. That's a really, really nice floor there. Leading up to his injury, geez, he has been super consistent, hasn't he? So if you look at these scores, 1, 2, 3, 4 sub-tons, 98, 82, and a couple of 92s. So that's pretty consistent. What we haven't seen is that massive ceiling that we know he possesses. We've seen Parish in the past go 150. We remember Anzac Days. Anzac Days, notorious for Anzac Days. And do you know what? He's actually coming up against Collingwood, isn't he? As well. Yeah, look at that high score. I reckon that must have been an Anzac Day match. But with this matchup against North, I really, really like it. I don't think he was there for that other one. So don't have any data from this year. But if we look at this history, the last 2 games in 2021, well, 2 games in 2021, a 138 and a 152, if you don't mind. 98, 120, 115. Oh, sorry, and you've got to count the 88, obviously, there as well. And Collingwood, 110, 133, 162. So there we go. Pretty good history against all upcoming opponents. Now, you're always worried with Parish, with the soft tissue type stuff. Can he get through the next 3 weeks? If he can, I think he's probably my best bet. Don't mind that fixture as well. If we don't go Parish, talk about, he's worried about durability, but he's in bloody good form, isn't he? Adam Treloar. Did he go 140 odd the week before this? 123? Yeah, he did. So, look, some really nice form from Adzi here. 113, 144, and a 123. Not great before that. Again, a really good stretch here. Who's he come up against? So, Hawthorn. See, then this bloke won't get tagged. This bloke won't get tagged either. Then he's got West Coast at Marvel. And then Geelong at GMS. History, average, not great. Very good, apart from that middle game there. Another dog. 2% of sides. Someone to consider, but very, very risky. Butters, I've got Sarong. Whitfield, I passed on him before. Sinclair, I passed on. Tom Green, would I get him back in? Probably not. Huey McCluggage. I'd love to get Huey in. With Ashley out. Jeez, no, but again, you're not going McCluggage over Parrish, are you? I think that's just silly talk. Parker's gone down lately. He'd certainly be an option I would look at, but just don't like recent form there. Warner I wouldn't trust, too much of a pod. Who am I skipping? I'm just skipping names here as well, aren't I? Josh DAICOS, no. Anderson, too risky. I think I'm... Manny Crouch. So since coming back in, 86, 144, 112, those two big scores at the Adelaide Oval. Only one game to come at the Adelaide Oval. West Coast, gee, that could be a really big grand final for us. Sydney. He just accumulates, doesn't he? So what's got here? 32, 31. Tackling well. Shit, look at that free kick count. Snagged a goal as well. Yeah, for 112, so... Is a pod selection you could go for. Again, both Parrish and Crouch do play West Coast, which I like. Gus Brayshaw. Tukey will be back. No, probably don't trust him as much. Jelly, very disappointing. Hingy, next lines man. Dyson Heppel. Alright, so we're getting to the Newcomb Chris types here. DeGoey. I'm just not. I think at this stage for me, it's got to be Darcy Parish. This has got to be the man for me. I hate to do it. You feel naked, don't you? This is a terrible, terrible feeling. I'm joining the many messes with 0 trades left. Oh, can I activate my boost just for the sake of it? Nah. I should have activated the boost just for shits and giggles, shouldn't I? But let's complete this trade. Confirm. This is it. This is the side. This is how we are finishing up. So, look, I think I've got a feeling, again, not being cocky or anything like that, but the DAICOS injury may have actually worked out in my favour, given the fact that I do have that 23rd premium of the, let's just say, Sheasel quality, which you may say after this week isn't fantastic. You've also got your Windtaker, again after this week, not fantastic. And, well, would have been my best cover this week in Marriage. So, again, some premiums like your Boltons, which you're worried upon week to week, and you just got to try your best to loop them. So, speaking of that, let's see what we're going to do in regards to loops this week, and then the captaincy options. So, all right, so you got the Sheasel types and the Bolton types are my loopable players. Now you've got Sheasel nice and early here in the back line, so I think what's pretty easy to do, then you've got, ooh, no, that won't work actually. With Tyrell it will though. So we chuck the emergency on him. If Tyrell goes no well, if Tyrell goes no well, if Sheasel does nothing, then it's a pretty easy Himmelberg swap there, and then we go Bolton. So I think that's probably what I do with the loop. Can I use Bolton? Yeah, look, with Sheasel's, we'll take your pick. It's a nice, easy one that I can do there, and it just works out well. For the captaincy, beautiful. So Madden is laid out, beautiful. And just a bit of captain's advice as well for your league matches. Now, I was speaking with H on the weekend. He had a really crucial league match in a cashy. I don't know if he got up fingers crossed, hope you did, H. But a little bit of advice for him was don't give your opponent so much info. Instead of actually putting your preferred captain or your backup captain as your captain, put your loop as your captain. And that way they won't get that info, and it may just throw them off a little bit. Here I am putting out a public video about it. So, yeah, just a thought off the top of the head there in case you're gunning for your leagues. And we will, I promise we will, in this week's Swordplay Potty, give some extra league strategy talk as well. I'm sure that's what lots of people are after. So, that's what I'm going to do in regards to loops. Windy's just going to be that emergency. And the good thing is, with this late game here, yeah, I could do something maybe if I need to. So we'll see what happens there. But, all right, captains. So Collingwood and Geelong. Could you go with Stewart? Potentially. I always pick the wrong week with Tommy, it seems. All right, so here, it's a pretty obvious one. I reckon I may just keep on to this VC in Zeret. Coming up against North Melbourne. History, I'm sure, is fine. Yeah, 137, 140, 117 in the last three. Will they try to put someone on him, run with him? Possibly, I'm not too sure. But again, this is just the VC. It's nice and early, so I think it's going to be Zeret for me. Sydney, no, I don't think. Just check my full. Errol. Geez. Spills mentioned the other week that high ceiling type VC option at the SCG. $117, $124, $164, $62, $93, $156, $119. Definitely an option. I always like Errol as your VC though, so if you want to skip on merit, Lions and Crows. I'm not really trusting Neil or Laird or Dawson at this stage. Carlton versus Melbourne, so look, you've got to look at your tracks here, don't you? And your Gawns. Track, I'm sure he was a very, very bad man last time. Yeah, so 159 last time against Carlton is definitely going to be in consideration. Obviously have to think a bit more deeply about it. And Big Maxi, well, look at his last month without Grundy. Look at his last month. So 215, 120, 174, 130. So the lowest score he would have given you as a captain is 120. And let's be honest, I don't really rate the Carlton ruck setup at the moment. So did he even play them this year? Well, he did for 103. So not great there. 129, 117. But I'm not necessarily looking at history with Gawn. We saw his terrible history against North Melbourne, but he still managed to really carve it up with 130. So, where's that played? That's played at the G. Yeah, look, surely it's got to be Big Maxi, or else track. We'll keep on going though. So West Coast Freo. Would you go Sarong? Probably not. I don't think so. Hawthorn and the Dogs. Does Finn go to the Bont? Does he go to Libba? A Dale type? Who knows? You can never discount the Bont, can you? But probably not. Down at Tassie, yeah. I avoided him last week and it almost bit me in the butt. Zeret came through, but yeah, definitely an option. Sainers and Sicily as well. You've got Sis there. Again, he's more of a vice, isn't he, after what we've seen? Maybe. The Tigers wouldn't go anyone. Steele, not for me. Marshall, probably not if you got him. Again, I'm being sort of selfish with my options here. English, definitely an option if you've got him. And then you've got Butters and Rosie, potentially. No, look, for me, I think it's going to be Zeret into Gawn. That's the best combo for me. And best of all, it's so easy. Just chuck the C on Madden. Just for now anyway. So that is a team, guys. That is the final team for 2023. DAICOS out, DP3 in for now. Could go a real pod and Luke Jackson, a little bit more peace of mind, having a ruck back up. Time to end. You know, I know when it's time to end when I absolutely start butchering my words. I'm the worst at the best of times, to be quite honest with that. Being a teacher as well. Shocking. But that is it for now. So finally, Sicily, Stewart, Dawson, Day, Lloyd and Sheasel. Let's just call it as a back six. Again, a nice loop here with Dewar. The Bont, Track, Laird, Zeret, Steele, Parrish, Sarong and Neil as a final 8 in the midfield. Pretty happy with that, to be quite honest. Bont is obviously the glaring omission here. Probably him over Steele, you'd like ideally. Windy is cover. Rouston, I don't think will get a game. Roberts, if he continues and Sydney get an injury or two around that midfield, I think he should come in. Wrap with Gawn and Briggs at the moment. You'd love a Tim English here, but Gawn, probably the number one man you want in the ruck at this stage. Errol, he's been fantastic. We've all got him. Rosie, safe as houses, but has really bounced back. Cogs, again, pretty popular type pick. Taranto have all got him. Doesn't really matter what he does. Himmelberg, a bit more of a pod option. And hopefully a bloke that I can loop when I can. And Bolton, that absolute roller coaster pick, will give you absolute donuts or give you absolute... What do we say? Absolute cherries, maybe. I'm not too sure. The old cherry on top. Marek, he is what he is. If he needs to come on, then I'm in a bit of dire trouble, I think. So loops are there. Everything's hunky-dory. Hopefully no more injuries and I can finish off the season strong. So that is it for this week's round review, guys. I'll see you obviously in the Swordplay Potty. We'll record that not tomorrow night, Tuesday night. So I'll put a tweet up for any questions for the mailbag. Apart from that, we'll put up a quick stocky. We'll do things a little bit differently this week. Go through the bad picks, good picks, all the rest. And apart from that, I'll see you soon in the next one. Cheers, guys. All the best. Bye.